All right, Coach DeBesse, first of all, the biggest priority for the Georgia Southern offense going into spring?
Probably to rebuild the offensive line, just in light of the issues that we had in the spring. Excuse me, in the fall. I'm sorry, in the fall. 2 new additions that we really don't know a lot about, but we have high hopes for. Getting some guys back from injuries. I think I have no doubt that we'll get it done. I have no doubt it's going to happen, but I think it's going to be a work in progress. After that, and you can probably go back to last spring when we talked about this, after that it is truly to, across the board by position, improve on the fundamentals necessary to be better in the passing game than what we are. I thought we took a step backwards last year as far as the passing game was concerned, and there were some reasons for that. But that has to be a focal point for us this spring. And part of the reason that is, to be honest with you, and it's the good news, is that we're getting better at the skill position through recruiting. You know, we're getting better. We've got some more explosive kids. I think we've got some talented young kids out there on the perimeter, and so we've got to find a way to utilize them.
Coach, this is going to be your 3rd year running the offense here. Time flies. What percentage of your master offensive playbook do you think you guys are going to be at by the time you open fall camp?
Well, again, I think that has a lot to do with how much we can progress in the passing game. We've taken an approach this year going into spring ball that we threw everything out as far as the passing game was concerned. We just threw it out and started over. That doesn't mean that we don't have certain elements that we had in the past, but I really wanted to make a concerted effort with the staff, and I really wanted to show the offense that you know, we were doing everything we can to be more diverse and to get better in that particular area. So I don't know, there's going to be some things that we do this spring that will be brand new to me that I've never even been around before, as far as in particular the passing game. We're going to try to look a little bit different. You know, we've been a heavy 2-back offense. We're going to try to do some things to look a little bit different there. Again, I think that speaks to the fact that we've got some decent young skill kids that we've got to see what they're about. So percentage-wise, hard to tell. I know there's going to be some things that have never been in the playbook before.
Coach, with the addition of Doug Roos, who was a former offensive coordinator, is coming on board as a tight ends coach. Have you guys spoken? What is his role going to be with you as far as the offense?
He's just like every other coach on the offensive staff. I mean, this is not my offense. This is our offense, and it always has been our offense. I don't have the wisdom of Solomon, and I think we're a lot better off when we've got everybody's ideas being shared, and ultimately somebody has to make the final decision as far as what's in and what's out. But you know, Doug is just like anybody else. You know, we've crossed paths. We've never worked together before, but I think everybody knows the history of, he came in after me at Sam Houston. We both worked for Willie Fritz. Now we're both here with Chad. It's kind of neat, really. We've always had dialogue since the Sam Houston days, and always stayed in touch, and I've always enjoyed him. But you know, right now for him, he's just getting his feet on the ground with this system. You know, and so he's smart enough to know and experienced enough to know that the best thing he can do right now is coach up what I think is maybe our most exciting group of young players, and that's our tight ends.
Coach, how exciting is it to kind of throw out some of the past and kind of start anew? I mean, like you said, you have so many quality skill guys, young guys, but you also have those guys who have experience, like a Wesley Kennedy and a J.D. King and a Shai Work. I mean, how exciting is that to kind of come in anew? I mean, it's a little nervous, a lot of work to get done, but it's also got to be kind of exciting.
Yeah, there is a lot of work to be done, but I honestly think that we go into this spring, as far as pieces are concerned, potential pieces are concerned, I think we go into this spring in as good a shape as we've been since we've been here. And that's what recruiting's about. And I know people on the outside have a hard time being patient But hell, that's the nature of the business. I mean, that's the way it is. And so you're right. We've got an interesting dynamic in that we have some experienced guys like Shy, like Wesley, like JD, like Logan Wright, who people forget about because he missed so many games last year, but he's certainly an experienced guy. Cam Brown at tight end. But then we've got the youth. And I think one thing that we've seen through the offseason, and Coach can speak to this more, but I think we've seen really good leadership from our older kids. But more than that, I think we've seen some really good followers. Okay, and in order to have great leadership, you got to have great followers. And that's hard to do these days. But I like the mindset of the offense. I like the mindset of the whole football team going into spring ball.
Coach, you talked a little bit about the offensive line. It seems like Georgia Southern is getting bigger and bigger at offensive line, as in size. In the past, it seemed like the speed was more of the thing that Georgia Southern was after. Do you feel like there's speed on that offensive line to be able to, do what you want to do?
Oh yeah. And I think I wouldn't say speed. I'd say athleticism. I mean, we will sacrifice size for athleticism and speed across the board, and that includes the offensive line. We may be getting bigger, but hopefully. The first thing we focused on is athleticism and footwork and things like that. So recruiting in the offensive line, the philosophy has really been no different than recruiting skill guys. It really hasn't. And so, you may be thinking back in the day, I mean, when you're underneath center, you do play with a little bit smaller guy. I don't know that we could survive, particularly at the guard spots with that type of kid, but we definitely look for athleticism.